17 of the Making Stories podcast. I'm Hannah Lisa. Over there is my wonderful friend and colleague Claire. And we welcome you to this episode of our knitting and sustainability and all things making stories podcast. Come in, grab a cup of coffee. We certainly do. So,
I have mine.
Yep. And you're knitting, and we hope you enjoy the next 30 minutes or so with us. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Yeah, we have a couple of really sweet little things to talk about today. So Clary's going to share a little bit about the latest blog post, and then we're going to talk a bit about our latest call for submissions. And we have 3 things to share with you that are on or off our needles. And that's going to be it for today. Yay! Alrighty.
Yay!
Over to you, love.
Yay! All about the blog. Well, this week we're recording this on Thursday, and there's a new post live on our blog, which I'm really excited about, because if you've been following along with the blog, you might have seen we've been doing a lot on adjusting patterns and working out what is the best size and what pattern to knit and all those lovely things about finding a pattern that's going to work for you and that you're going to love when you've finished it. We're not quite finished with adjusting patterns just yet, but we are kind of shifting our focus ever so slightly now and moving into looking at what yarns are best for the pattern you've chosen. And this might seem, well, maybe you're listening to this and thinking, well, I always know what yarn I want to use. I want to use the yarn that I'm excited about. And I totally get that, and I do that all the time too. But sometimes you can get so carried away with a yarn you're excited about that maybe it's not quite the right one for the pattern you're looking at. And you get to the end of the project and you're like, ooh, I kind of like it, but I just wish it was a little bit crisper, or the stitches aren't really showing off as well as I'd like, or you know, all those lovely things. And so we're going to be delving into that a little bit on the blog, and this first post, kind of going into that series, is all about drape, which is something I think it's one of those things that we all kind of know what it is, or we all may, I might be speaking out of turn, you might know exactly what it is, but for a long time I was kind of a bit like, oh, I know what drape is because I've done a bit of sewing and all the rest. But when it comes to knitting, it can be a little bit different. So this post is all about that, and just kind of getting to grips with what drape is, what causes drape, and then taking that, and then you can look at a skein of yarn and have a fairly good idea how much drape that yarn's going to have before you swatch it up or get it into a garment. So that's what this post is about, and I'm really excited about it. I always do this thing where I start writing a blog post. I'm like, this is going to be a short blog post. This is going to be because it's just drape. And then I start writing it and I'm like, ooh, I have weirdly a lot to say about drape. So it's probably more information that maybe you need, but it's always better to have more than less. And I hope you find it really useful. I thought I'd share a little tidbit from there, which if you're watching this and you don't want to read the full blog, although I think you should, the key thing with drape when it comes to knitting, most people know, first of all, that drape is how a garment or a material will hang, so how fabric hangs, and how much movement it's got. If you're a sewer, you kind of know from the handle of the fabric how much drape something's going to have, but when you've got a skein of yarn, it can be a little trickier to predict that, and I found the key to working out how much drape you have is based on 2 things, and it's how the stitches are sitting next to each other in your fabric, and it's how much room there is between the stitch and how easily they'll move against each other. So for example, a really smooth yarn like a linen, the stitches will move against, I'm going to put my coffee down because I'm definitely going to spill it. The stitches are going to move between each other quite easily, and especially if then you knit it on a larger gauge and it's got more room between it. It has more space to move around. And if you compare that to, say, like a woolen spun yarn that's 100% wool, and it's a slight prickle to the touch, or it's got quite a halo to it, it won't move as easily as it's sat next to each other. So it's not going to go as far, basically. So it's going to cause less drape, and it just chats about how you can adjust gauge to try and get more drape and to look at fibres and all those kind of things. So if you're interested in reading more about drape, that is now on our blog. So,
Whee!
Yay!
I have to read it because I haven't read it yet, and it sounds awesome. And I didn't even think about that. It has to do with sort of how much space basically you give the stitches. But it makes sense.
And I think that's the key. I really do think that's the key, because if you only think about it in the sense of a full piece of fabric when it's already knit up,
Sorry.
Oh, bless you. Bless you.
Where did that come from? Sorry, no, you were saying.
No, I was saying, excuse me, that if you only think of it as one big piece of fabric when it's already knit up, then it kind of feels like a bit of a mystery, because you don't ever fully know how it's going to be until you knit it up. So, which can make choosing a yarn, and then you don't want to you can swatch, and then if it's not right, you don't do it. But it takes a little bit of the mystery out of it. You think of it as not so much as one whole piece of yarn material, but how those stitches are going to move between each other. And you can get a lot of the idea just from feeling your yarn, feeling how smooth it is, feeling the weight to it, and things like that. So yeah, it was a fun post to write, and I'm excited to get into more like yarny chats on the blog as well, because we've done a lot of pattern adjustments, which has been super interesting, but it's addled my brain at times. It's really good, but at the same time, I'm kind of looking forward to just writing ones where I don't have to do maths.
Yeah, although those were super, super helpful, I think.
Yeah.
You did great work there.
I like those ones too, but yeah, maths isn't always my strong point. I need a calculator out a lot.
Yeah, that's knitwear design right there for you.
I know. Chose a career that was basically based on maths. My parents think it's hilarious, because I've never been able to do it.
Love it. It's also an excellent segue into our next topic. Shall we talk a bit about the call for submissions? So, we just opened a new call for submissions. Also, wonders of technology. I suddenly have different headphones. Yay! Anyways, as you might have seen, or if you haven't, and we're going to put the links in the down bar below, we just opened our call for submissions for issue 8, which is going to be our fall and winter issue of next year, 2022. And it's going to be all about campfires.
I'm so excited. It's so autumny.
Me too. It's such a wonderful, I think we both felt it was such a wonderful, warm, cozy theme that we just immediately felt called to it. And obviously Tilly does too. Hello, Tilly.
Tilly loves a campfire.
Yeah,
Tilly
I can't blame her. So we're just going to chat really, really quickly about the call for submissions. If you want to see any details, you can just go to our call for submissions page on our website, and you'll find all of the details there. The deadline for this call for submission is August 23rd, so you have a little bit of time until, you have to submit your design idea to us if that is something that you'd like to do. So campfire, what does campfire mean for us? For us, it's evoking that feeling, inviting you to take a seat with us, next to us at a campfire that's just crackling on. It's getting dark. We're in a little clearing in a pine forest or some other forest, You maybe have like a cup of tea or hot chocolate in your hands, putting your feet next to the fire, cozying up in a blanket or a cardigan, and then just really relishing in that calm, cozy feeling of the moment. Maybe watching the flames dance, the sparks fly, and just really getting lost a little bit in nature and in really like the flickering of the fire. So that's what inspired us for this theme.
That was so nice. I feel very relaxed now. Now I want to go do that.
Oh yeah, me too. So if you feel called by this call for submissions, by this theme, by this idea, we'd love to see your design ideas. It's a fall issue, so anything and everything that is kind of like fall inspired attire, and no matter whether that's, fingerless mittens or a warm shawl, a little hat, cozy cardigan, sweater, all of those are a go. If you want to hear a little bit more about what specifically we're looking for in submissions, there's tons of information on the submission website. What I will say here is take a look at the designs that we've published before. We like to go for things that are interesting but also very wearable, because for us it comes down to sustainability, meaning, or a facet of it, meaning that you're wearing the things that you make for years and years to come. So yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait for what people come up with. And I think it's also just going to be such a like, the color scheme that we're envisioning are rusty reds and, dark greens, maybe a bit of slate or ash gray. And I think it's going to be such a nice fall issue.
Yeah, we are going full on autumn and I'm really excited about it. Just to add to what Hannah-Lisa said there as well, actually right after we recorded the podcast today, we're going to be going live on Instagram. Obviously that's you're going to miss it. You want to see it live because we're doing it right after this, but I'm going to pop it in our Instagram TV channel. And we've just invited people to ask us questions, and we're going to chat about the call for submissions on there too. So if you want to hear that, run over to our Instagram channel. I'll put the link below, and you can watch that Instagram live as well. And just to add to that we're always open to working with new designers too. Yes. So if you're sat here and you're watching this and you think, oh, I love that idea, and I'm going to look at the call for submissions, but I've never really designed before, please feel free to submit and get in touch if you have any questions, because we always love working with new designers too, as well as established ones. So yeah, I hope you like the theme. I cannot wait for it. It's so warm here. I'm kind of, ever since we put that call for submissions, I've been like, I am ready for autumn. Sick of the bugs. I just want to be cozy.
Weeks.
I know. I shouldn't wish it away either, because it is nice to be out in the garden and things. But yeah, I want the campfire. It's too hot right now.
Yeah, and you'll have something beautiful to wear at the campfire or in the fall. I hear you've passed something off.
Talking of autumn colours, you might have seen me show this on the podcast before, ages ago, because it's taken me this long to get it finished and cast it off.
It's so pretty.
But I made let me stand up a little bit. There we go. I love it. So this is the Vanilla Herloom sweater by Sustainablisco, and I knit it in Knitting for Olive's double soft merino. And it's just a plain vanilla sweater, but I knit one on with a lighter yarn, which I wear to death because I love the fit of it, and it's the same with this. I really like the fit it gives me, but this is the one where I'm gonna play around. If I ever get time to actually play around with things, I'm gonna play around with a little bit of duplicate stitch, and I'm gonna do like some little elbow patches in like a creamy colour.
Be so nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that, but yeah, I love it. I did it slightly cropped because that's just how I like my sweaters. But I'm really excited to wear it for autumn because it's that gorgeous. This is the This was ochre, I think it's called the ochre colourway. And this is a lovely yarn. I'd never used this yarn before. It's like a chainette construction.
Cool.
Am I saying that right? Yeah, and I've never used it, and it kind of creates, it's an interesting fabric. It creates quite a flat fabric. Like it's not very round and bouncy. It's quite like, which I really like because it's going to be a really warm sweater, but it should fit under sweaters quite easily. Sweaters. Jackets.
Yeah.
It should fit under jackets quite well. So I'm excited to give it a try. I need to. Yeah, I need to try and it was either duplicate stitch, or I don't know. I remember seeing Marina doing like embroidery. I didn't know whether or not to do some like little leaves or something on the shoulders instead. I don't know what's going on, but I thought it was the perfect canvas to have a little bit of fun with.
Definitely.
So yeah, if I ever get time, I'm gonna do a little bit of playing around with that. But I was excited to show people. It's cozy. It's not blocked yet either, and the ends need weaving in. It needs blocking, and then I'll have some fun with it and see what I can do.
But I also love, like, everything is so on brand right now, or like on point. You have the yellow blanket and then the 2 yellow pillows. You have the beautiful yellow striped shirt and then the yellow sweater. I love it. It's so nice.
I wonder what my favorite color is.
Yep. Oh, well done, love. Such a beautiful,
Thank you.
Such a beautiful piece of work.
You. Yay! Do you have anything to show us today?
Yeah, I actually have 2 things. One is on a little bit of a hiatus right now, just because I need the needles for the second thing that I'm going to show you. But I thought I would still show you because it's cute and sweet and has tons of ends.
Hey, I know that pattern.
Yeah, you do, because you wrote it.
Oh, I love it in those pinks.
Yeah, me too. So remember when we had our yarn pop-up shop a few weeks ago, I asked a question. If you're following us on Instagram, you might have seen it, about 2 different color combinations of the yarn that I'm using. So there was a yellow, actually, or the pink and the contrasting color. And it was super, super close. I think over the course of the 24 hours that story was up, like it went between 48 and 51%, like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I really wanted to cast on. And every time that I went on, like one of the other, like the other color was the winner. And so I was like, what? Okay. But Koi, this beautiful pink, actually won. And I'm super happy with how this looks.
I love it.
Let's backtrack a little bit. This pattern is called Embrace. It's a top-down colorwork sweater that is from our kids collection. Claire designed it. It's awesome. It's been retesting it, and it's now even better than it was before. And this is the newborn size, so it comes up size up to age 6, and I chose the smallest one. And the yarn that I'm knitting this in is Garthenor Beacons, which is a DK weight 100% wool yarn, and the colors are Koi, which is this beautiful pink, and Marble,
pretty.
which is this slight marled gray, creamy, white color.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, and I'm really, really happy with it. I really enjoy color work every once in a while, especially when it's like an intuitive, not too long color work chart. And I think especially for babies, makes a super sweet gift. So this is going to be a gift. I'm not pregnant again. This is going to be a gift. What I'm thinking about is actually maybe omitting the color work on the body and just keeping it white, because I quite like the contrast.
Yeah, that's
that
nice.
Has. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And as you see, I've put it on hold right now because I have one set of interchangeable circulars, my trusted Chow Goose, and the needles that I used for that, which is a 4mm needle, are now attached to... I'm probably in the middle of the row. No, I'm not. Oh, I am.
Every time.
Great preparation. To this.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
I always do the same.
I'm really excited that I'm back working on this again. So I really wanted to show it to people. Yay!
Oh, it looks so good.
My bindweed.
I love it. I love it. I need to get...
Sorry,
no, I was saying I need to get my yoki moving because I haven't barely touched it and it makes me sad.
Well, there's a new issue coming out, so you better
I
get
know.
your yoki, honestly.
I know.
Which was one of the reasons why I pulled this out. And the other one was that I really wanted to knit something that was a bit more complex than all of the little baby knits that I had knit as gift knits lately. And I really, really, really enjoy bindweed. So this is the cardigan that's on the cover of our issue 5. It's been designed by Xenia Naidyon in Knitting for Olive Yarn. And I'm also knitting this in Knitting for Olive Yarn. So I'm holding 2 strands double. The darker one is their merino in plum rose, and the lighter one is their soft silk mohair in rose clay, and I really, really like it. And I'm hoping that I actually have this finished for the fall and can wear it. And it's honestly been going pretty well, because the cable pattern, once you get the hang of it, is actually quite intuitive. And I'm only a few rows away from separating the body and the sleeves. And this will also be nice because everything's like bunched up on the needles. Like the cable is not long enough, but I also can't be bothered to change it. So yeah.
Well, if you're nearly at separating, then you know.
That's what I'm telling myself. So I really, really enjoy this. And I know that like bindweed, there are a few beautiful recent FOs, but also a couple of new cast-ons. And I'm just so amazed at the different colors that people choose. And it looks good in every color and on every
really
body.
does.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I love that pattern. And it's been really nice to see because it is, I think when you first look at it, it's beautiful. But I think people could be a bit like, ooh, it looks a little complicated because it starts, especially where it's top down, and I just love that so many people have been like, no, I'm gonna take a run at it, and then you do find out when you start knitting it, like you said, it does become very intuitive. I just love seeing all the bindweeds pop up. I wish we could get everyone together wearing their bindweed for a big mass photo. Wouldn't that be fun?
So fun. We could do a collage though. We could collect all of the different bindweed photos. That would also be nice. So yeah,
that would be nice.
That is on my needles, and I'm actually going on vacation at the end of this week. Well, so at the end of last week when you're watching this. So I'm looking forward to getting some more knitting time in, and maybe. No, I'm not gonna make a prediction how far I'm gonna get with the bindweed.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll put pressure on it. Just relax and knit. But yeah, talking about Hannah-Lisa going on vacation, that also means that in 2 weeks' time we won't be having our regular podcast because Hannah-Lisa's taking a well-deserved break. But there will be another video coming up, which is like another bonus video, but you'll just have me. So I hope you enjoyed that. So look out for that in 2 weeks' time. And then we'll be back with our regular podcast after that.
This would be so fun. I can't wait to see that video. Yeah. So, yeah, last thing I think to mention regarding sort of my vacation is because I'm doing the shipping at the moment while I'm on vacation. So this week when the video comes out, and next week we'll be on a little shipping hiatus. So you can still place orders in the web shop. They'll go out starting August 2nd again. And yeah, I think that's everything for today.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with us. We hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you don't want to miss any of our videos. Forward it to a knitting friend or 2 or 15. Spread the word. And yeah, come back and watch our special bonus video in 2 weeks.
We'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye, love.
Bye.